Assalamu alaikum. This is Pratusha Borwal welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. St. Martin's Island reopens to tourists, overnight stay not allowed in November. '54th National Cooperative Day celebrated. Cooperatives will build the country through equality and equity. Eight-month ban on catching Jhatka comes into effect to boost healthier production and ensure sustainable fish conservation. Total 31 contestants performed in Notun Kuri's first day of final round. Month-long breast cancer awareness program ends in Chattogram to expand in Apazilas next year, says City Mayor. Israeli attacks and killings continue amid ceasefire in Gaza. And Pakistan beat South Africa by 9 wickets in second T20 of 3-match series at Lahore. Viewers, those were the headlines and moving on to the details. After a 9-month travel ban, St. Martin's Island has reopened to tourists from today. However, in November, tourists will not be allowed to stay overnight, they must return the same day. In December and January, visitors will be permitted to stay for 2 nights. Tourists must comply with 12 government-issued guidelines. No vessel will be allowed to travel to St. Martin's Island without approval from the BIWTA and the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Visitors must purchase tickets online through the Tourism Board's authorized web portal. Each ticket will include a travel pass and a QR code. Lighting bonfires, making loud noises, or holding barbecue parties on the beach at night are strictly prohibited. MV Cornfully and MV Bar Aulia have been authorized to operate on the Cox's Bazar St. Martin route with a daily capacity of 2,000 tourists. Meanwhile, the Department of Environment is implementing a 3-year project titled Biodiversity and Climate Change Adaptation Project for St. Martin's Island. Under this project, various initiatives are being undertaken, including tourist regulation, environmental conservation and protection, creating safe nesting grounds for turtles, and establishing mangrove forests to protect the island's ecosystem. The 54th National Cooperative Day was celebrated across the country, including Chattogram, under the theme Cooperatives will build the country through equality and equity. Advisor to the Ministry of Liberation War Farooqi Azim was the chief guest in the discussion meeting organized by the Cooperatives Directorate in Chattogram today. He said, the youth of the country should be brought to the center of cooperative. Along with the youth, women should be included in cooperative. Bangladesh will be prosperous if everyone can build a united country together. Joint Registrar of the Divisional Cooperative Office Muhammad Dulal Mia presided over, while Divisional Commissioner Dr. Muhammad Ziauddin, DIG of the Chattogram Range of Police Muhammad Hassan Habib Polash, Deputy Commissioner Saiful Islam, among others, addressed the meeting organized at District Shishu Academy Auditorium. Certificates and honors were awarded to the representatives of the best organizations in cooperative activities at the event. Earlier, a colorful procession was brought out in the city, marking the day. A nationwide ban on catching Jatka came into effect today to boost hilsa production and ensure sustainable conservation of the country's national fish. The 8-month ban will remain in force till June 30, 2026. So, catching, transporting, marketing, buying, selling and storing of hilsa fish smaller than 25 centimeters Jatka have been strictly prohibited during this period, according to a press release issued today by the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock. It added, the ban is being enforced by the Department of Fisheries under the Ministry's supervision. Earlier, the Hilsa Conservation Campaign 2025 was carried out from October 4 to October 25 this year to protect brood Hilsa during its peak breeding season. The fry hatched from the eggs released by brood Hilsa during that period are now roaming in coastal rivers and estuaries. Officials said if this fry can grow safely, the country's Hilsa production will increase further in the future. According to the Fish Conservation and Protection Amended Ordinance 2025 and the Fish Conservation and Protection Rules 1985, violation of these rules is punishable by up to 2 years of rigorous imprisonment, a fine of up to Taka 5 lakh or both. The Department of Fisheries, in coordination with District and Peninsular Administration, the Bangladesh Navy, Coast Guard, River Police, Rapid Action Battalion (RAB), and other local law enforcement agencies will strictly enforce the ban across the country. This year's Notun Kuri began with nationwide auditions where thousands of talented children and teenagers from across the country took part in the competition. They showcased their talent and creativity in 12 categories including music, dance, acting, recitation, comedy and hamnad. On the first day of the final round, a total of 31 contestants performed in folk songs, Nozrul songs, modern songs and recitation. After successfully completing the grooming and top 10 rounds, the young participants have now stepped into the grand finale. Throughout their present preparation, they were guided and inspired by the country's renowned artists, actors and judges. Starting today, the final round features 127 contestants, 5 from each of the 12 categories competing for the top positions. The competition will continue for 4 days, filled with new excitement, emerging talents and stories of dreams and creativity. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Mahbooba Farzana has emphasized the need for journalists to enhance their skills in investigative reporting to effectively counter misinformation and disinformation. She made the remarks this morning at the inaugural session of a 5-day training workshop on investigative journalism for July fighters, organized under the project titled Support the Improvement of the Broadcasting Environment for NIMC, implemented by the National Institute of Mass Communication in Dhaka. NIMC Director General Nur Muhammad Mahbubul Haq chaired the function, while the project director Muhammad Abu Sadiq was also present. Highlighting the government's firm stance against rumors and propaganda, the Information Secretary urged participants to strengthen their abilities in uncovering hidden information, analyzing documents, identifying reliable sources, and producing impactful investigative reports to address these challenges. 451 women have received treatment in the breast cancer awareness program conducted throughout the month of October in Chattogram city. Of them, 12 have been diagnosed with breast cancer. City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain disclosed this information at a press briefing at a hotel in Lalkhan Bajar in the city today on the occasion of the closing of the program. He said, 1 in 8 women in the world is at risk of breast cancer. If breast cancer is detected in its early stage, the cure rate is 95%. Mentioning that approximately 12 to 14,000 women are affected by breast cancer every year in Bangladesh, the mayor said this year the City Corporation, private medical institutions CSCR and PGS Academia have conducted awareness programs only in the city to raise awareness about breast cancer. He said, to make everyone more aware, regardless of gender, this program will be conducted in the Btv-Chattogram alongside the city next year. City Corporation Secretary Mohammad Ashraful Amin, Chairman of the Private Specialized Medical Institution CSCR Dr. Khurshid Jamil Chaudhry, Chairman of PGS Academia Professor Dr. Khandokar A.K. Azad and other senior officials of the City Corporation were present on the occasion. Now, international news. The Israeli military's top lawyer has resigned after saying that she was responsible for the leaking of a video that purportedly shows soldiers sexually abusing a Palestinian detainee last year. Majan Yifat Tamar Yerushalmi, the military advocate general, had been on leave since a criminal investigation was launched by police earlier this week into how the surveillance video at the SD Taman detention facility was leaked. 5 reserve soldiers have been charged over the incident. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has attacked the Gaza Strip for a 4th day, killing at least 3 people in another test of the fragile U.S. brokered ceasefire. The Red Cross says it transferred the unidentified bodies of 3 people to Israel after they were handed over by Hamas. Gaza residents say they fear a return to Israel's full-scale bombing as they struggle to find food, water and medicine during the U.S. brokered truce. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 68,527 people and wounded 170,395 since it began in October 2023. A total of 139 people were killed in Israel during the October 7, 2023, Hamas-led attacks and about 200 taken captive. After 5 days of on and off talks in Istanbul to resolve hostilities that flared in the first half of October, Pakistan and Afghanistan agreed to continue a ceasefire they arrived at earlier this month, Turkey's foreign ministry announced Thursday. In a statement, the ministry said the next round of talks would take place on November 6. All parties have agreed to put in a place of monitoring and verification mechanism that will ensure maintenance of peace and imposing penalty of the violating party. The ceasefire came after more than a week of cross-border gunfire and targeted strikes inside Afghanistan killed dozens on both sides, including civilians. The agreement put a pause on the most intense fighting between the two countries in years. Trade between Pakistan and Afghanistan has ground to halt as a major border crossing remain closed. Analysts warn that the conflict, which has deep roots, could reignite and destabilize the region. Scores of people have been killed in attacks by the Rapid Support Forces (RSF) during their recent capture of the city of El Fasher in Sudan's western Darfur region, according to a medical group and researchers. The RSF, which has been fighting Sudan's military for control of the country, killed at least 1,500 people over the past 3 days as civilians tried to flee the besieged city, the Sudan Doctors Network said on Wednesday. The group, which tracks the country's civil war, described the situation as a true genocide. The massacres the world is witnessing today are as an extension of what occurred in El Fasher more than a year and a half ago, when over 14,000 civilians were killed through bombing, starvation, and extrajudicial execution, the group said. It said the attacks are being carried out as part of a deliberate and systematic campaign of killing and extermination. The statement comes as new evidence of mass killings in the strategic area has emerged from Yale's Humanitarian Research Lab, HRL, which reported that satellite imagery of El Fasher, taken after the RSF moved in, shows clusters of objects consistent with the size of human bodies, as well as large areas of red discoloration on the ground. The RSF has been locked in a bloody civil war with Sudan's army since 2023 in a conflict that has killed tens of thousands and displaced more than 12 million people.